Thank you for spending the time today to answer some of these questions I have regarding a recent survey you did. And this is regarding shippers and how they can establish fair pricing and contracting practices in for ocean shipping. Well, my first question is, can you please tell us a little bit about your company and roughly how many containers you ship each year?
Well, I mean, our company is engaged in a couple things. Number one, the importation of complete bicycles from China. And most of it goes to either Los Angeles or the Port of Charleston right now, a little bit to New York. And then that probably is about 6,000 forties. Then the rest of the business that probably altogether will add up to about 500 to 1,000 represents, we just opened a U.S. Bicycle assembly factory in South Carolina last October. So there's a lot of containers going to Charleston for that. We're also warehouse in Charleston. And then we also have a nice bicycle accessory business. And so we import, but still mostly two places, East Coast and West Coast, Charleston and in, what do you call it? And in Los Angeles. We sell predominantly to the mass market, to the Walmarts, the Targets, Toys R Us, Academy Sporting Goods, Amazon, people like that. And all together, it's getting close to about 7,000 forties.
And how satisfied are you with the level of service that you get from your carriers?
The service on all the carriers, if we're not talking about pricing, the service on all the carriers is good. I mean, more or less the transit times are pretty reliable, I think we've had two claims in the last year, probably amounting to less than $10,000 in damage. So the information flow is good. So the service is good on virtually all the carriers.
In particular, what is your experience with the carrier pricing practices or processes? What are the pricing related pain points that you have?
Well, I've been in this business dealing with the steamship companies, believe it or not, since 1972, the very beginning of the containerization. With people like Sea Train from Japan and K Lines, and the business used to be very stable. It used to be you would start the year, you would have the meetings with the steamship companies. I'm talking pre-NERA group, and where you would negotiate to each company, and the points that it was a real negotiation on a company by company basis, and despite the fact that there were a lot of companies, typically we did the majority of our business with two carriers. Now, volume wasn't as large as it is now, but still basically two companies we did most of our business with, and you negotiated the price once a year. And it just made for a very nice thing. Occasionally during the year you might add a new point, and you might have a little bit of a battle for a few weeks on trying to get something done in the middle of the year. Then came where the thing started going really crazy was the group called the NERA. Are you familiar with that name?
No, I'm not familiar with that name.
Okay. Now they have the TSA. Before the TSA, there was a group called the NERA, and I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm sure if you Googled it somewhere you could find it, or some of your colleagues from Maersk. Actually, John Joyce was in my office yesterday from Maersk Line. So it's but that's where suddenly you would meet. They had the conference carriers and the non-conference carriers going way back there, and so the conference carriers, they would all agree that they would all have the same exact price from point A to point B for one company. So for instance, company A could negotiate a price of $2,000 from point A to point B. Similar company might be paying $300 more, $500 more for similar volumes. It had a lot to do with your ability to negotiate in long-term relationships. But that was beginning in NERA. Then everybody they would all agree to do the same price. And then in order to get that price, you would have to meet with say almost all of the 10 or 11 carriers that were members of that group, and they would then vote in crazy meetings that would go all night long in Hong Kong. I wrote a very famous letter to Anera. I really wish I had it, in which my frustration, I'm talking about, well over 20 years ago, where all the companies and all the sales representatives that we spoke to, this is the beginning of the pain. They all agreed to give us a price from Shanghai to New York and Shanghai to Los Angeles. And then I get a call from somebody, one of the companies, say, Arnold, it was defeated 11 to 1 in the vote. And what we realized is that there's still and so it started back then, is a basic distrust between the owners and their salespeople. The owners lie to their salespeople constantly, and it has gone on for 25 years. So the poor selling agent coming in, talking to the people, they get fed a line of garbage, never the real story, and then they go out and sell it. It's a crazy industry, as I guess you're coming to know, as to why people would invest a lot of money in this. It's one of the crazy. I don't know of a crazier business than the ocean steamship company.
Well, my last question is, how do you think the carriers could improve their pricing practices or their processes?
Well, the thing is to make where to start. I mean, for the longest time, we had one price for 1 year, and we would agree. I mean, there was a real contract. It was a real service contract or a time volume contract, and if they would honor that, we would honor it. But what started happening about 5, 6, 7 years ago is the moment business would get. I mean, it'd been on for about 10 years. But the moment business starts getting really good, they start rejecting your cargo. And they start talking, well, the spot rate is on. I said, what do I care about spot rates? We have a contract. I'm willing to honor my contract. And they look at me like I'm completely goofy. But this is how I've done that business for 40 years. And suddenly they go, no. We're so bold. We have to charge you $1,200 more containers. I said, but we have a contract. You're supposed to be carrying 15 of my containers every week at X price. How can you can't raise the price? I can't go to my customers with a 1.5% increase, 2% increase. You're just stealing. So they started the game. So then what's happened is they've created just a scenario right now where, as a shipper, the moment the prices start to go down, you go like, screw you, Ocean. I'm not paying $2,000. Somebody's offering me $1,200, and it's become I don't know the word. It's just become venomous. The relationship between the carriers and the customers, and how to fix it, step by step, quote a price and live with it, and give bonuses to the carrier, to the companies that honor their commitments, but same time penalties. I mean, look, things happen sometimes in business where you might lose a major customer. And so your volume goes down, and that might be an exception you put in there. But assuming that your business volume, your overall numbers stay the same, each company, the companies will be entitled to share in a real damage if the volume contract is not met. I mean, I'm prepared to live with that. But when I negotiate a price with a steamship company, I mean, I'm no longer doing negotiating, but I still watch with somewhat with laughter and humor. But right now, you get a price that's just like, well, okay, I wonder how long they're going to honor this price. So you asked me how to fix it. Start show of integrity when you quote a price, live with it. I do. We sell almost 2 million bicycles to Walmart a year. If their business goes up 30%, I don't raise the prices. It's nuts.
Well, thank you, Arnold, for sharing your views today on. Thank you.